Hi guys and gals and everybody. Welcome to Filter Free with Natalie, and I apologize that I have not been posting because I was due to post a Weight Loss Wednesday and it has been a crazy week for me and my health and other things going on in life. So I owe you an apology and I owe you this video. So, like I said, welcome. If you've never been here before, thank you for stopping by, and make a comment in there to let me know how you found the channel or what thoughts you have about anything there, including this visit. Also, welcome back to subscribers, and also welcome to any lurkers who neither subscribe nor forget what they're saying in the middle of a sentence. You guys already know I do that, my subscribers. So this is a makeup Weight Loss Wednesday, okay? I am going to give you, I'm excited about it. I was really disappointed that I couldn't do it. So I'm really excited to do this video for you guys. This is a awesome spin on Weight Loss Wednesday that I'm excited to share. So remember that this is for people that are 18 and older. I don't make videos that are kid friendly, not that they're not friendly, but I have my thing set for no kids because sometimes I like to expand my vocabulary. All right. So, what is so special about this that I'm so excited? For Weight Loss Wednesday, I am going to share with you my top five ways, tips that you can go from surviving to thriving while you're trying to improve your health. Not only that, but I'm going to tell you the secret bonus of how you can lose weight or focus on any goal at all and go from surviving to thriving and make it happen. So if you guys are ready to grow, let's go. All right, and take two. Okay guys, thank you for sticking around to see about the content today. We are talking about Weight Loss Wednesday, but this can really apply to any goal that you want. But for the application of this video, all of my examples will be related to actual weight loss or health focus. All right, so I make notes for any people that are new. I make notes for myself because part of my disease creates a lot of memory loss for me, especially short term. So I have notes, so don't judge me for looking down. And I just want to make sure that I give you your nickel's worth, which is really free because every way I've asked for support has been to like, to subscribe, to comment, and to share the video content to people who might like it. That's all I'm looking for, so I hope that we can grow together. So we are talking about the 5 tips that I suggest for you to approach weight loss or really any goal. This is going to come from a different angle than you might be expecting, but this is what I have learned over years of dealing with my own battles with my relationship with food and all that entails. I've shared some things about that, and so after some therapy and some research and some soul searching, I have landed on this great situation. I'm just having a lot of brain fog today. I'm sorry. So let's just get to it instead of reintroducing everything, and just, pause or rewind me or mute me, whatever you need to do. All right. So 5 tips plus a bonus. 5 tips for meeting your goals, especially with weight loss. Again, it's not going to seem like what you're expecting, probably. So I invite you to stick around. I hope you stick around. Okay, ladies and gents, tip number 1, get to know yourself. You need to start thinking of yourself as you have your mind and then you have your body, and those things can be approached separately while treating the whole person. What am I meaning by this, getting to know yourself? Well, what is your goal? Don't think about what other people say you should be doing. What we're asking is, what do you want to be doing? Do you even know? Do you know yourself? Do you have confidence that when you have an instinctive feeling, you have that intuition, you're like, okay, I'm going to follow that, or you second guess, or you're too afraid to make a change, or whatever's going on with you, that you find it more difficult to even really recognize who you are or get to know yourself. You are never going to be able to succeed on goals if you don't even know who you are and why those are your goals. What is your goal? What are your strengths? And what are your obstacles? It's very simple. And when I'm done giving these for you, I'm going to tell you what I filled this out. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm not needing to take this medicine. So, number 1, get to know yourself. Natalie, meet Natalie. Hi, Natalie. Hi, Natalie. The first Natalie is the projected self. That is what you present to the world about who you are, and that can even change from group to group. And some of that makes sense. You wouldn't necessarily behave the same way with a romantic partner as a friend or a parent or a child. There's all different relationships, obviously. But in this case, the first thing you need to know is, who is your projected self? What do you put out there that you expect people to think about you? What do you want them to think of you? Because we're all governed by that, whether we want to or not. This is a good first step to breaking away from that, but it's hard to do. So it takes some practice, and I'm not anywhere close to being good at it. I just recognize that it's something that I can focus on. You have to start somewhere, right? All right, so you have your projected self. I want you to think of me as this or that. But then what is your actual self? The best way to approach this is to think of something that you know is innate about you, that you feel most awkward or uncomfortable about somebody else knowing, because it's vulnerability for you. Because any goal you are tackling, you need to be able to believe in yourself and that you can do it. And until you understand yourself, your projected idea of who you want people to think you are versus who you really are, you're going to have to find a middle ground if you're not ready to go all the way towards being who you really are. It's a really hard process. We all are going through it, those that are working on this goal. All right, so what is your goal? If your goal is to lose weight, like mine, this is what I'm sharing with you. For my number 1, Natalie, get to know Natalie. My goal is to lose weight so I can heal and or to be a better transplant candidate if that comes up. Sidebar. Part of my issues this week have been related to my illness. It has been a crazy week for that, and a lot of hard lessons have been learned this week about what I know about my illness versus what the doctors know about my illness. So I'm responding to things that are scary to me. I have a lot of side effects already between the disease and the medication. And it's weird for me that it all is very overwhelming and scary. And when I write the doctor through the little electronic chart thing, which I'm fine with, I get, a response back that's like, I think they're trying to say, hey lady, don't you understand how bad your illness is? Do you not understand that all of these symptoms you're having are just par for the course? There's nothing extra we can do. That is a very hard lesson. And when you're trying to have a goal of health where you don't know how close you are to that ceiling and how you're supposed to navigate all of that, that sounds like an obstacle to me. So, what are my strengths? This one was hard for me. I even wrote on the page, this one is hard for me. I had to skip. I had to skip and go down to do the obstacles because we always focus on the negative first. And I wanted to make sure I included that even in this exercise that I'm suggesting for you, that when I tried to do what are my strengths, I sat, and I put a circle next to my little bullet point, because when I would take tests in college, I would circle the questions I had to come back to because I had the foggiest idea what the answer was. But sometimes the answer is later on in another question, and so you got to keep that in mind always look for the whole test first, because half of the time the answers are somewhere in there. So my strengths ended up being I have a good support system, which is actually really important to focus on. As far as my medical team support, I feel like, I have an old sports bra level support. And then with my family and friends, I have underwire support. So what are my obstacles? Any level of activity I do creates significant nausea, pain, and other physical limitations. I have side effects from my illness and my treatment, including memory, fatigue, and hypotension, which is low blood pressure, and elevated pulse, like elevated pulse rate. So this makes a big deal. This makes a big difference for me, because everyone's going to say, well, it's about exercise and food. You have to balance your food with your exercise. I'm not mocking anyone in particular, but everybody's in a different place. So first of all, I have to start where I am. That's how you start. Get to know you. So if you're already going to find something to help you with your goal, and your goal is to lose weight, then it needs to be something where you feel motivated and that you want to do that activity. I am motivated, but right now I know that my limitations physically and mentally need to be addressed as a part of who I am and how I'm going to reach this goal. All right, so now that we're clear, let's go on to number 2. Tip number 2, which is going to be probably even more intimidating than the last stuff if you got intimidated. Number 2, tip on how to reach your goals and go from surviving to thriving. You have to accept yourself as you are, exactly right now, who you are, without any judgment. There needs to be at least one advocate for you, and that's you. Okay? Not everybody has the same support system, or they have people around, but they can't help, they don't understand, you don't want to share. Some goals are private. They're not always about weight loss. They're more specific, or they're more personal, and that's obviously okay. You know what you want to work on. All you need to decide is, are you working on that? Going back to number 1, getting to know yourself. Are you trying to accomplish this goal because it's really what you want? You can't wait to make this goal happen. Or is it, I can't wait to get this goal out of the way so people will quit telling me how to live my life? If it's the first one, go. If it's the second one, regroup, because you need to look at that. If you're only answering the call of other people, where is your balance there? Because as my dad would tell you, at the end of the day, nobody's banging your door down to find out how you're doing, unless they are. So when you're the one that's dealing with all your stuff at the end of the day, you can remember that you are approaching this from an improvement standpoint, and not from the pressure of feeling like you have to do this thing by this time frame. You have to be your own advocate. You have to recognize the power you have in your journey's outcome. This is getting into some areas where people might disagree, and for reasons that I don't share. So what I will say about that is, regardless of what your personal beliefs are, your whatever, if you're religious, if you're not religious, it doesn't matter. This is not about religion at all, not even a little bit. Even if that's a part of what you consider your identity, you still need to be able to identify who you are without expectations, just where you're at. Okay? Give yourself the same courtesy, patience, and understanding that you save for the people you care about. Or if you're one of those people who is super nice to strangers on the street because you give them the benefit of the doubt, but the people you love the most catch the fuzzy end of your lollipop, then you need to address that. Okay? If you are one that tends to lash out to the people that could help you as a defense mechanism to not be pressured to change, you need to recognize that those feelings are coming up in you and address why that's happening. It's as simple as anything else. I feel like I have a pain in my leg. I'm going to look down and see what that is, what's going on. It's just a silly example, but when I was younger, I would be terrified that if I felt like something was crawling on me, I would immediately flail and scream and stomp my foot or whatever to get whatever it might be off, and then realize I was just having a public fit of some kind when there was no creature to be found. So now I just gingerly look down and then am immediately poised to shriek like a little girl if it is in fact a creature. I'll leave that in just because it's filter free, and if I can't run on sentence with you guys, come on. You guys have fast forward, you guys have, I feel like the person in charge of my script is the same person who writes Trump's speeches. Okay, so that was number 2, accept yourself. So in putting myself on the hot seat, not doing anything differently, Natalie, you are great as you are, but you deserve more than you allow yourself to achieve. You are capable of more than seems possible. It's okay that you adjust how you participate in things like exercise, and you need to accept your potential. This is a big one, okay? Number 2 is accepting yourself exactly where you are and how you are, no judgment, and you have to allow yourself that room. There is not one person on this planet that is perfect. I don't care what they say. There's no such thing. No such thing. So if you feel like you can't ever do enough or you feel super limited, you need to unpack that more. You need to find out what it is that you feel like. I know that I actually have a limitation that most people would roll their eyes at. That because my blood pressure is low and my pulse rate is high as a, like really low, you would think that that would mean it's good to exercise. But if it increases my blood pressure, my pulse rate will just continue to increase. And that can create an issue for my heart health. So I literally have to do things that are very basic. Example, Google it, pillow yoga or something like that. It's literally like moving around in different positions while holding a pillow. I mean, if you can't start there, you need a fluffy pillow and a glass of ice water. I mean, I can sit here with a pillow and move my head from left to right. I can do that. But if I try and go on a treadmill, I might just have a cardiac event, and I'm not interested in that. So you need to remind yourself that you are capable of more than what seems possible. You just need to adjust what you're doing, whether that's exercise or whatever goal you're trying to do. If it's not working, all you need to do is break it apart and find out why, and be honest with yourself about why it's not working. Is it you? Is it the goal is not realistic? What's going on, right? All right, so, and it is okay that you adjust things and accept your potential. When you have to scale things back, especially if you didn't used to have issues and now you do, like me, I may have always been fat or had extra fat. I'm not fat, I have fat. But, liver brain. I told you this week is kind of crazy with my health and side effects. Okay, your potential is being held back by your own judgment of who you are as you are. Well, I can't do that. I can't, go to this place until I'm like this. I can't go to that until I've lost weight. Who's that picky? So you might be getting in your own way is the point. I definitely get in my own way. Negative things are so much easier to believe. Just like in the first one, I had to think much harder on my strengths than my obstacles. So obviously that on its own tells me I need to focus more on that. Instead of focusing on how limited you are, focus on your potential, no matter how small the number is. If you're coming out as like 100% of something and you're like, well, I really can only do like 30% of that, so I guess I'm 70% short. Or you were not able to do any of it, or you hadn't been doing any of it, 0%, and now you can do 30%. The math is the same. It's your perspective that needs to be updated. So that's number 2. Let's see what number 3 has to say. All right, guys. Number 3, brainstorm your goals to make sure that your goal is the right goal for you. Again, or are you meeting others' expectations, especially in the world of weight loss? As soon as weight loss becomes somebody else's decision or an expectation in the relationship, then that becomes a problem, because you're no longer motivated by your own positive way to get it done. You're now motivated by the fear of loss of that person, or their judgment of you, or whatever made them the person you talked to about it in the first place. You're instead of having encouragement, you're having fear. And fear is a butthole. So you need to verify if it's realistic for you, not for what other people expect you to do. And are you making room for yourself to handle the changes that are going to come along the way? Because there's going to be challenges. There are going to be challenges. I don't care what your goal is, unless it's your goal to say, I'm going to think about a goal today. You can say that out loud. Doesn't take any time at all. It's the doing. I'm really good at doing the saying and not doing the doing. Or I start the doing. I'm going to start this today and I'm going to do this. First day was great. Second day was pretty good. Third day, I'm not really liking it. Fourth day, I don't know. And then Friday, it's like, it's Friday and I checked out on Wednesday. So let's make some bad decisions. In the end, nobody's going to be injured by it except you. So remember that the only person that's going to suffer by you not trying is you, not anybody around you, even if they have expectations, because at the end of the day, everybody is way more interested in their own lives and their own things they have. Everybody has their own full plate. They have their own worries and fears and issues that they need to do. You don't need any help, and they don't need any help that way. That's why the only thing that should be going on there is some encouragement, right? So if you don't have a lot of, support, like we were talking about before, there are so many outlets for social media, and apparently it's about to get all, really ramped up for the expectation that that's going to be a primary way to contact people now. So on mine, for brainstorming, number 3 for me was, I want to lose weight to improve my overall health. I am not going to be stymied by past attempts. If it's weight loss and you've had to deal with it more than about a month, you've probably tried a few things. Sorry, I had to tell Eleanor to quit eating something. I want to find a way to exercise that not only doesn't challenge my limitations too much, that keeps me safe physically, but also that doesn't scream, I'm purposeful exercise. I am one of those people, I hate genuine exercise. Like, I'm going to do 3 sets of 15 reps of these pounds and then these pounds. And I'm mimicking probably my bad experiences with trainers. Just another category where people have, they literally back up and do the toe up example, or the toe up scale scanning of you. And you already know that, they just decided that you might be a lost cause. It's happened more than once to me with trying to pay someone to help me lose weight. And which is funny, because I've actually helped other people lose weight, because if you can't do, then you teach. And I'm really good at that part. So, even though there are a few activities that I can do safely, there are options like that pillow yoga. And I also recognize that I am driven by accountability, which is one of the reasons why I started this challenge to begin with. When I lost weight when I was a kid, first of all, you're a kid. So you're automatically under the accountability of people, the adults in your life. And so in my weight loss when I was younger, it created a different sort of relationship for me, and how I relate to processing, being purposeful about my food choices, and dealing with cravings or things that I just haven't had or wish I had, or just, damn it, I want to not diet or do anything and I just want my burger. And that's normal to have those issues, especially if you're just like, well, yesterday I could have been on The Biggest Loser if it was still on, and today I'm going to start fresh. Hey, it's cool. But also remember that none of this started overnight. You didn't wake up one day. Well, I can't say that if your goal is personal. I don't know. You might have woken up, but in the focus of weight loss, you didn't wake up one day. I didn't wake up one day being this size. No, I did not. Now, I have always had a little pudge, that little bit of a muffin top. I mean, I was a 12 or a 14 throughout high school until I started gaining weight, and I was very happy at that. I would be more than happy if I was even at a 16. Size 16 for me would feel like I'm 18 and up. I know people are watching this that wouldn't appreciate what I'm going to say, so I'm going to be respectful of that. But let's just say that, nope. Now that I've contemplated what I shouldn't say, now I'm just, I don't remember. It's not overnight. It's not, I got it. It's not an overnight process. So no matter which way you respond to setting goals, if you need accountability, I need accountability, because the only time I have seen any success for me losing weight and trying to be thinner, it wasn't really a health focus at the time. It was more of a, you definitely don't want to go through life as a fat person if you don't have to, because people are ruthless. And I was in middle school with my, prepubescent pudge, but it was cresting. My height versus my weight was not increasing at an appropriate ratio for me as a growing kid. So I did need to lose weight, but not everybody loses weight in a good way, especially if they don't know how to do it. And at the time, it was the kind of stuff that everybody did, switch from regular soda to diet soda and, get everything that's fat free and all of that. I mean, we followed all the rules of the day. And of course it just didn't work out well for me physically, but the weight loss occurred. But I need accountability, but it can't be from anybody that I want to be able to talk to and spend time with and be free with. Because if I have someone like, let's say my mom said, okay, so since you're having all these issues, why don't I do this, and I'll make you a menu. You can just I'll make the list for you to shop, and then you can just make these things on these days, and then you'll just not have to worry about it. It's an awesome, awesome gift to even hear that would be possible. But all I can hear is, I'm going to take all this time to make these recipes for you, and I'm going to give them to you, and you don't have to follow a day thing, but you can just pick the recipes you want. And I am looking forward to recipes from my mom, but my instinctive reaction was, I can't have my mom be who I'm accountable to for my weight loss. It will not work. It will not work. So I have support from my wife and my family, and you guys, you're my accountability. I don't want to let you down. I don't want to put myself out here and say that I'm ready and be so vulnerable and give you all of my, crazy statistics about my measurements and weights and stuff. I mean, no woman wants to do that because we're all conditioned not to. But I am, because this is my accountability, and I have felt guilty for days by not making this video. So it helps me whether anybody else likes it or not. So I'm going to keep doing it. All right. We're going to go to number 4 and keep things moving. All right, guys. Tip number 4 to go from surviving to thriving with your goals. Weight loss is the one we're talking about today. Again, not overnight, but we need to try and replace some mental projections of ourselves to be empowered and confident. So you're going to replace negative thoughts or even complaints with gratitude. I can't believe this morning. True story. This morning I woke up early and put all my stuff in on my Prime Now app because we order groceries through Prime. We were doing that even before because it's very difficult for me to go shopping. So I put all the stuff in there, and I got up early because the delivery windows go fast. And I had it all in there, and because I hadn't updated I've had some trouble with this app and my payment methods. I had to delete everything and just add one payment, and I had to redo the whole thing. And then it changed my delivery window, and I almost missed it entirely. And I was getting all, anxious about it. Like, we don't have anything. This is the famine week from if there was a hell. It's been really tough. So I could sit here and complain and complain and complain because I have plenty that I could complain about. So does everybody else that's in the 99%. I know rich people have problems too, but I don't understand them any more than they understand mine. So we'll just leave that alone. So replace complaints with gratitude. It really makes a difference, and you don't have to sit there like, Mr. Handy and be like, I'm strong enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. I love affirmations, but some people think of that as kind of hokey or cheesy, and just do what works for you. We've seen a million examples of it as a portrayal in any show or movie where they're trying to show you the characters moving through their growth process, and there's post-it notes and affirmations or writing things on the mirror or whatever it is you need to do. So you remind yourself that you are only limited by your acceptance of these negative thoughts, which again, none of this is overnight. So let me give you mine, okay? You're going to replace complaints with gratitude. Recognize that you are unique and how beautiful that is. Seriously. I don't know who's watching this right now, and I don't know if you've been here before or if you're family or friend, but I will tell you right now, you are beautiful and unique because every person has something to offer. They have something to offer that is a gift to everyone around them. Doesn't mean everybody grows into it or accomplishes that, but I believe that we are always, the duality is present. We have positive and negative, night and day, yin and yang, all those things. The balance is a key focus. So here are my things. I want to replace I can't with I could try. Like Elena Joy. If you haven't looked at her YouTube channel, she's my shout out today. Elena Joy. I love her channel. I love her content. And she's very brave. And she does something that says she tries things for a week and then says, if I don't do well, then hey, at least I tried it. So that's where I got that. I could try. That's all anybody can really ask. Instead of, it's too hard. It's too hard. But at least it's not, like me having to go every 3 weeks to get my labs drawn, to find out if I'm better or worse, lab-wise, clinically, and then what's going to happen to me and my medicines and my side effects and all of these things, right? It's so hard. It really is. But at least it's not bungee jumping, or at least they don't say, hey, you have autoimmune hepatitis, advanced cirrhosis, memory loss, fatigue, nausea, dry mouth, blurry vision, hair loss. I mean, these are all actual things that I have. But if someone told me that I could get rid of all of those things by being on a like Fear Factor type show where you have to lay in a box of hissing cockroaches or bungee jump or something else equally terrifying, Nope. But at least what's hard for me doesn't include that, doesn't require that. At least it's not Brazil having to dig multiple mass graves day and night because of their coronavirus deaths. At least I'm over here complaining about labs that I have coverage to have done every 3 weeks. And I have a doctor who is managing my care from a distance. He still doesn't want to see me for an appointment. I think of it as like in Grey's, not just in Grey's Anatomy, but in general, when you have the top doctor, the ones that's in charge of stuff, like my doctor is a head of stuff. He's big in his area. So you have to be a more interesting case, I think, to warrant his attention. And that sounds crappy, but that's why I was referencing Grays. For those of you who just can follow this, just follow me. And if you don't, then just deal with it for about a minute. It was when Izzy Stevens had cancer and all that stuff. And yeah, you're right. You didn't want to hear that. And I lost it. I completely lost it. So let us not be disheartened by our first world problems. Let us try and recognize our potential. And at least it's not bungee jumping. That's what I say. At least it's not a kick in the face with a golf shoe. I mean, nausea, I hate it. But I would hate being kicked in the face with a golf shoe way more. That's all I'm trying to say. Next thing, I can replace, I don't know how. I don't know how. I don't. But how can I learn? Okay, I've never done that. So how can I learn? It doesn't matter anyway. It doesn't even matter. This is a very normal thing I hear from people when they need to vent, and then they dismiss, like, they're venting hardcore, like it really is impacting them. I'm so upset about this. I feel this way about this. And then as soon as you try and, respond and contribute to the conversation, they're like, it doesn't matter. It's okay. It doesn't matter. No, it matters. In fact, instead of saying it doesn't matter, just say, how does this impact me? I'm sorry, guys. I will edit this maybe. I haven't eaten in a while, and if I don't, I'll get sick. So I make this porridge that is on Instagram, Filter Free Natalie on Instagram. I showed a picture and told you how to make it. But I don't want to get sick, so I have to eat. Instead of saying it doesn't matter, which is really you saying that you don't matter, just see how this impacts you, right? You're approached with a challenge, or you're faced with a challenge, and you're like, how is this going to impact me realistically? And from there, you can decide how upset you need to be about it or what you might want to change. And another one for number 4, I don't deserve it. This is, so many people don't think that they deserve anywhere near what they do. And so that's why they don't fight for it. And that's why they are not happy. So instead of saying I don't deserve it, I'm glad I can celebrate who I am. I may not deserve it, even if I'm right. I may not deserve it, but I'm glad I can celebrate who I am, even if it's not what anybody else likes. I don't need to be liked by everybody. I have no desire. I want my parents to be proud of me. I want my parents to think that, they did a good job and everything. And I want to be there for the people in my life that are there. And beyond that, if you don't like me, that's fine. As we've learned from watching the news and all these daily tallies, there are so many other people that we can both decide to like besides each other. There's plenty of people, so it's fine. I'm going to celebrate me, especially after everything that I've gone through. Just like you could probably say, after everything you've gone through, how do you not deserve the chance, the opportunity to improve yourself on your own terms? You can. That's what I'm trying to say. So let's keep it moving. Number 5. All right, guys, thanks for sticking with me. We are on number 5 of our 5 tips, which means the secret is coming. Don't leave. Number 5. As we mentioned before, I love celebrating who I am, which is a perfect segue to tip number 5, which is to always celebrate your victories, big or small, scale or no scale. I have made several videos and it has helped me and challenged me, because when you make a video of yourself and then you go back and watch yourself and listen to yourself, if you're anything like me, meaning you would do well to go through these steps because you don't have that confidence, then you know that looking back on yourself in pictures or video, You're like, do I really look like that? Do I really sound like that? Is that really what is that really me? We'll go back to number 1 and start over. Is that really you? Does it really upset you? And it's okay if it does. But get those questions answered. Is it because you know that, how the heck am I being, I'm not trying to hide it, being on line with everybody to have their opportunity. Okay, I don't know why I'm putting that back on. Everybody deserves the opportunity to celebrate their victories, no matter what they are. So if, let's say that it's weight loss and you're really, really at the beginning stages, meaning you don't cook a lot, you rely on fast food, you rely on prepared meals, you rely on delivery of food, like pizza and Chinese and all that. You rely on other people making your food. And a lot of people do for a myriad of reasons. And then let's say you're like, well, usually on Fridays I would order this from this place and I would eat this much of it. But since I've been trying to focus on myself, I've only eaten half of it. Like I put half of it on a plate and put the other half to save right away, and it helped me eat less. That's something that I try and do. I'm not always successful. I am these days because I don't have an appetite really, but when I do, we all have those times where we're like, man, I seriously am still having a craving, which I find ironic since all this started. In my apartment building, it's a very diverse building, and our floor has a lot of things that when you walk down the hall, it smells like really good Chinese food is being made somewhere. So I've been having this craving for it, and I'm not giving into that one right now because of the amount of sodium that would be going on, and that it's expensive as I'll get out to have it delivered right now. But if I were to, and I would say, hey, I used to split this in half and now I split it into 4s. That doesn't matter to anybody but me, but that's a huge victory for me, especially with my relationship with food, my binge eating disorder. It's a challenge for me, especially with trigger foods like that, where, sometimes I get something like Mongolian beef, but of course my favorite one is either sesame chicken or sweet and sour chicken without sauce, or basically Chinese chicken nuggets. And as I say it, I can smell it, I can taste it, but I don't want the aftermath of it. So for me, I'm celebrating my small victory that I recognize that while I have the ability to make poor choices and things like ordering food that does not make me feel better, I've decided not to at all. I just haven't ordered it at all. And that may not be huge to you, but it's huge to me. So whatever your particular victories are, big or small, like the measurements versus the scale. If you're someone who doesn't need to lose a lot of weight, you just don't feel like you feel like you're just flabby. You just want to go from, not to hot or whatever, as they say, then you may not have the biggest issue with food itself. Maybe your issue is with which foods or which focus. If you start doing exercise because you're okay with it, or you like to, or you find something that's not intentional but is still a workout with having fun, like riding a bike, going for a hike. I can't think of another word that rhymes besides one I'm not going to say, so never mind that. But anyway, sorry. Non-scale victories, if you're doing weight loss, is really important. Things that are actually changing your habits, not just changing your physical self. Me avoiding Chinese food makes me feel just as deprived as it does proud. But knowing that is such a huge deal for me to say, I can, but that doesn't mean I should, and then I don't. Especially because it's so much easier to order stuff when you have fatigue and nausea and you don't want to have to get up and cook anything because it's too hard. But it's not, because the comparison for me would be, at least it's not bungee jumping. I am terrified of heights. Don't like them. We should be on the ground. That's where we're supposed to be. I am mesmerized by people who are not afraid of heights. You guys are some kind of superheroes. I'm terrified. So, celebrate your victories, big or small. Make sure that they're your victories, not something that someone said, man, you know, wouldn't it be cool if you did this? Because either they're participating in help, or they're participating, but they're also like not really jazzed about you having a good growth, because not everybody is supportive. You know, you just have to make sure that it's for you. You know, like, I need to lose weight. I've always needed to lose weight, but when I was younger, I had no idea that I was sick. I've been sick a long time and didn't know it. It's been going on for decades and I didn't know it, which is why it's so bad all of a sudden. Including, I don't remember what I was saying, because one of my challenges is memory loss. So let's go ahead and just talk about what some of you might have been hanging on to see, which is the bonus secret of how you can go from surviving to thriving. And I mean it, seriously, this is my favorite part of this video. And I'm excited to tell you what it is. So if you're excited, then just sit right there and I'll be talking to you immediately. All right, everybody who is still here hanging in for my total clickbait, super secret, amazing bonus tip on going from surviving to thriving on reaching your weight loss or any goals. I am just learning based on all the videos I'm watching. Apparently, clickbait is a huge point of getting you guys' attention, and I'm not good at it because I'm not good at being like super perky or anything like that. So I'm not everybody's cup of tea. However, that doesn't mean I don't have something good to say. So we've gone through 1 through 5. You need to get to know yourself. You get to accept yourself. You need to accept yourself for exactly who you are. Or get your goals written down. Make sure that they're realistic and that they belong to you. Replace your negatives with positives, your mental projection with something physical. Not something physical. Replace your complaints with gratitude. And number 5, making sure that you celebrate your victories. And now, bonus number 6. I'm so excited. I just want to get all my stuff here so I make sure I get it all to you. Your secret tip, number 6, is this. I just don't want to say it wrong. Let it begin from within. Anything that you're going to try and accomplish, put you out in the world, because that's how we all project ourselves. We have our inner self, and then we have what we see and we think that other people see about us. If you're like me and then you watch your own videos and you realize what you project doesn't always look anything like what you thought it would at all. And that's one of those things where you have to be like, okay, well, I thought I was like this, but now I see I'm like this, and that's okay. It's okay. Everybody come as you are. Number 6, the best secret about weight loss or any goal is love. Love? Wait, I have to find love before I can improve myself? What is this bald lady saying? I'm not bald. I'm sparse. And yes, love. I'm going to explain it to you just like this. You are never going to be able to help another person fully if you can't see that you deserve help too. If you don't love yourself, how are you going to project that love onto others where it's genuine and makes a difference, right? If we don't have a good feeling about at least ourselves, if we're not at least the one person that thinks we are, the cat's pajamas, then we were already at a problem before. Sorry. We're at a problem now that, sorry. Editing is so fun later. Love. So start by, do you love yourself? Think of a flow chart. Okay, do you love yourself? No? All right, then number 2, recognize that you deserve love. Aside from deserving to meet your goals, aside from deserving to make up your own mind, to seek advice without judgment, you should be able to do all of those things. But none of them are going to happen if you don't believe that you deserve that in the first place. You need to be the one person that totally digs who you are. You need to love you more. All right? And if you say, I do love myself, then you're good. Go. That means you are love. You are love, and you are going to be able to shine that love on others. My brain, hepatic brain. When you decide that you deserve this, you deserve your goal, you deserve your love, you deserve your self-empowerment, you deserve to be your best self on your terms. And the biggest power that any of us have is love, because you are love. It's not about having love for another person or for yourself. It is being love. Just like, and that can come out in any form or fashion, whether it's a Tony Robbins, banana hands, or it's church if that's where you go, or it's, reading your Mental Floss magazine with your fresh coffee on a Sunday afternoon. That sounds so good. You are your greatest advocate, and you need to remember, you are beautiful and unique, and you are love. It's not just something you have, it's something you are. When you embody love, meaning if nothing else, you deserve love. You deserve a break. You deserve your own tough love. This is my goal. I said I would do it till this day. I matter enough to stick to it, to see, did it really work, or do I need to change what my goal is because this isn't working the way I was expecting. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to throw in the towel and assume that I'm just stuck the rest of my life being a certain way. I lived that way for several years. I guess I'm just going to be fat my whole life. I guess I'm just going to be single my whole life. I resigned myself to it. I was like, hey, I don't mind not having to share everything, on the idea from a single perspective at the time. I could go on vacations and not have to deal with, well, what do they want to do today? Where do we have to go? Or, it's total autonomy if you're by yourself. But then you're also high-fiving yourself, which is apparently a thing that I'm confused about on YouTube. I'm assuming it's a high-five yourself because you can't touch other people. But it wasn't really explained, kind of like social distancing wasn't really explained until they kept just repeating it. And people kept making comments about it. So, I hope that you recognize that this doesn't sound like the traditional approach to weight loss or other certain goals. But if that doesn't make sense to you, it just tells me that you have already been indoctrinated into the expectations of others. I need to do this by a certain age. I need to do this at a certain weight. I told myself I couldn't date anybody until I was a certain weight because I know that everybody has problems with my size. Everybody being because my last serious relationship before I got married was involved with a person who had a huge issue with my weight, but still pursued the relationship for over 2 years. We both kind of failed on that one. I did not think I deserved love. I did not recognize that I deserved love. I took the love that I thought I deserved, and it wasn't enough. And that's because A, love isn't always enough, and B, oh, the problem became me trying to fit the expectation of this person, to meet the needs of this person over my own, to have pressure about my accomplishments because now they feel like it's like we didn't both know that it wasn't going to work, but one of us did and kept it going, I guess, because of the things that were good about me. And then my issue was I felt empowered, I felt accomplished, and then when I didn't get to a certain point by a certain time frame, immediately there's pressure. Immediately there's feeling like a failure. And first of all, that is a huge red flag. And the fact that I stuck around for that should say a lot about the little bit of love and self-esteem I had for myself at the time. All I wanted was to be loved. All I wanted was to be accepted for who I was. And that is rare. And I have that now. I am happy to celebrate who I am, including the fact that I am a woman who is married to a woman. And I am so proud of that. We have a wonderful marriage, a wonderful relationship, and we are love to each other, to people in our lives. I have someone who has the same approach goals as I do, and that makes a big difference for me. So remember that you are worth it. You deserve it. Figure out where that's coming from. That negative speak, change it however you can. I hope you guys enjoyed this content. Like I said, I was really excited to share it with you. And even if that's the only audience I reached, then they say if you can just reach one person. I'm already here to meet that expectation for myself. So you guys just sit back and enjoy the content, or decide that you don't want to. Either way, I apologize again that I was late on this Wednesday, Weight Loss Wednesday on a Friday. I appreciate your patience and understanding. Please remember, if you can, to write down in the comments something you liked about this video or something you think could be improved in this video. Comments really help me to see that people are actually looking at the content and trying to give me feedback on what you'd like to see. Like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel so I know how many people are interested. Those are all free ways that you can help support me by just a simple click on your computer or mobile device. I am super excited about being able to share this. And it's a little nerve-wracking actually that I'm just looking at a phone. I'm just looking at my lens, and of course every now and then, like we do, I'm doing like, oh, da, da, da. Oh, right, you're up here. But I don't remember what I was saying. It drives me batty that I can't remember. But I was just, okay, I really don't remember. Remember to let go of fear. If you didn't get anything else out of this, write down the main things that are in your life that maybe should be looked at, or just make your list of pros and cons. Make your own pro and con list about yourself, and then find a red pen and cross through every one of those things that doesn't actually resonate with you. Then you'll be able to get a really good view about how much of who you think you are has been impacted by the expectations of others. So loving yourself, it does make a huge difference. Even if you can't really believe it yet, be your own cheerleader. For those of you who love to go to any kind of games, I love football. Football games are super fun, and you're sitting there and you're cheering and you're being really positive, but you had no guarantee when you showed up at that game that your team was going to win. I mean, given, there are some sports where the teams are like, well, probably we will win. I mean, hello. But you don't actually know. That's not a guarantee. You've paid money. You've carved out time out of your life with both travel, parking, walking, spending more money because it's a thing to go out and do, sitting in a space with other people, and cheering for a team that has no guarantee they're going to give you anything more for your money than just watching them play. Maybe not even the experience of a win. And we're willing to do all of that because we enjoy that. We enjoy the why can't I think? The vibe of the crowd, it's, you feel the energy and you're like, yes, fun story. And then I'm gonna say bye after this fun story, which is, I have been to one monster truck event in my entire life. I would go again, maybe. It's really loud, obviously, goes without saying. I really enjoyed it, though, because I'd never gone before, and it was, you get this huge feeling whenever you're in a big stadium like that, but I'd never been in one that was huge like that and had the whole area was the dirt hills and stuff for the trucks, and they had motocross before that, which I'd also never seen. And that was badass. I had never seen anything like it. I didn't know that. I just was unaware. People who do it and like it are already aware. And then we watched, I was there with a couple of friends, a friend and their friend. And we were just watching, and I was just paying attention to the stuff and like, whoa, they're going to jump over that. And then I started to get a little into it. And then the Grave Digger, well-known monster truck, it was in this event, and the truck flipped on its side, so on two wheels sticking out like that, and that driver spun the wheels around and flipped themselves back upright with no help at all. And I was so excited, and I didn't realize until then that as I was jumping up and going, holy crap, that was awesome, most of the other people were doing the same thing. It's that energy of get on your feet and cheer, and that was great. I love that. I love it. And then I realized that I was just shouting and hollering. And that's how you have to say it if you're at a monster truck event. Shouting and hollering. And the friend I was with was just kind of like, I don't know her. But that's okay too. All right. So thank you guys again for being an outlet, for listening. I'm going to repeat for the shout out, Elena Joy on YouTube. She has a channel. Her content is really fun. It's not all one thing. She focuses on a couple different things. And she's really funny. And she also reminds me of an actress, and I can't ever think of her name, but she looks a lot like her. So if you figure it out by watching that video, tell me who you think she looks like so I can figure if that's the same. Please, again, like, subscribe, share, post a comment, let me know what you think. Let my channel get a little traffic experience so that maybe more people who are looking for some content will stumble across it, because I don't know how else they're going to. Everybody have a great week. Medical Monday is coming up, and I do have some new information to share on that. So stick around. I might need a little support and a little participation from you guys on Monday, because I'm facing something new that I'm not really comfortable with. So thank you again for sticking around. I know my videos are kind of long. I run on because I don't remember what I've said and I have to go back to my notes. You guys are very kind to be patient with that and watch my videos. I really appreciate it. You guys have a great and safe weekend. Please, please balance your desire to enjoy your weekend with the reality that we are not done social distancing. The life you save could be mine. Think of people you love, though, because that'll probably motivate you more. Till next time, be good to yourselves.